How is it going, guys? It is Arakafaka back at it again with another Apex Legends video, and today we will be going over the best landing spots for Kings Canyon Ranked for Season 12. And for me and many other people, the start of a ranked game is the most important part of the game. However, most people tend to not land in the good spots, to not land in spots that will get them some KP, some good loot, etc. So today I'm going to go over the map. I'm going to go over what legends are the best for that specific spot. So I'm going to have up on the screen, hopefully, I've been doing my research. If not, I'm going to have to do this all myself by playing Apex and figuring out the high tier loot zones. But on the screen I should be having a picture of Kings Canyon, and you will see purple dots and blue dots, and that is going to be the areas that have high tier loot. So purple for high tier loot and blue for rare tier loot. So let's get straight into it by talking about legend landing locations. And for me, on my opinion, I think the two best spots for Kings Canyon would be Map Room and the Rig. The Rig, one reason is because if you want to play an aggressive character, also Capacitor actually, if you're playing an aggressive character, Caustic, Gibby, Ash, Wraith, all that stuff, Loba for the Rig is 100% crucial. If you're playing Loba, if you have a team, you're playing Loba, the Rig is a really good landing spot to go. You're at the edge of the map, you have no one that's able to third party you from behind, you get that 3v3, if there's more teams obviously more, but you get that 3v3. But what you want to do is you need to fight for the middle of the Rig. The middle of the Rig is where you get your ultimate straight away at the beginning of the game. So if you have a whole team and you guys are landing in the middle of the Rig with Loba, Caustic and Gibby, think about that. You guys have such a big advantage over the next three, like the other three team, because you've got your ultimates, you've got the Loba shop, you can steal all the loot, you can steal all the ammo. So in the Rig there is easily free KP for you guys if you land there with Loba. That's the best spot for Loba. If you're a Loba player and you're playing for team, definitely go to the Rig. For Capacitor, it's the same scenario. If you're playing Crypto, Revenant, Octane, that sort of thing, I know we don't want to hear it, but if you're playing the Rev 10 with the Crypto, you need to land Capacitor. It's a little bit in the center of the map, so you do have to watch out for those third parties. But you also get a chance to get your ultimate. You can Rev push, you can Crypto EMP, you can Wraith Portal in. So Capacitor gives you a better advantage to the first fight that you have in the beginning of the game. And then also you have a chance to push to labs. With that, you can either fight in labs, or you can just go through the portal and reposition. Now let me get into probably the best spot for any team to land. You will probably get contested if you're in some high tier game, say Diamond, Predator, Masters, all that stuff. Map Room is probably one of the best spots for you to go. Map Room, you all know what Map Room does. I'm gonna have a little clip here showing you what Map Room does, so hopefully you do know. So what Map Room does is it's a crypto town takeover. With that, you can scan the middle of the map room, which also gives you the next zone, which is, I think it's the next two zones, right? Or the next zone. So you don't even need to scan a beacon, and you also get to see where everyone has landed in the map. So if that means you're very easily, you can go for a third party. Say Caustic Treatment is got two teams, you know they're about to fight. Well, you can just loot up extremely quickly, and you can just jump tower in to Caustic Treatment, go for the third party, get the easy KP, and then your game begins. Because you've already scanned the beacon, you're saving so much time. Even Repulsor, if there's two teams fighting, and say you don't scan it, there could be two teams fighting a Repulsor, but then there could also be a team coming from Hydro Dam, which you would not know. So when you go to fight Repulsor, you're the third party, then you end up getting third party. Kings Canyon is very third party, and you do have to play it like that. If you want to play in the high tier of Kings Canyon Ranked, you definitely have to be aware of the third parties. So I want to give you a little place where I like to go, is where I landed at the beginning of this game. So when I used to play Kings Canyon Ranked back in the day, seems ages ago, back in my day, you know, I used to land, we called it, our little code word for it was called Italy. It's that no name place outside a Capacitor. You also have two armors armory things available. So if you get grenades, you can get really attachment up, and then you can also go for a third party to containment, which is extremely good. And if you don't want a third party containment, you can go towards capacitor. You're really center in the zone. You sometimes get a beacon there, if I'm not mistaken, so you can play beacon and see where you have to go from there. So Italy, that's what I like to call it, is a very good place to get some early KP in the game, but watch out because containment is usually filled with a lot of good players. Containment is a very, I would say, good players like to land containment. Containment is good loot, so you may as well go there if you're a good team. Some places that I would suggest for you not to land in Kings Canyon, if you're not a good player, is Gauntlet. I don't think Gauntlet is good. It's got really high tier loot, but then also you've got to watch out for a lot of good players that go Gauntlet. A lot of good players do go Gauntlet, and then you can also get third party from Salvage and Airbase. So fighting in Gauntlet is a pretty tricky one, and then the biggest thing about Gauntlet, there's an area outside Gauntlet, no name, that gives you extremely incredible loot. It's a really good, easy way to third party. If you see two teams going Gauntlet, you go outside Gauntlet, go no name, and you could third party that quite easily. And another one for me would also be Salvage. I think Salvage is kind of a tricky one. If you're landing Salvage, you usually do get a replicator there. There's a high chance that you will, so you can get like the light mags and stuff. But with Salvage, there's this really high ground on Salvage, and there would usually be a team at Market. There's probably a team coming from Caustic Treatment, and if the Gauntlet team isn't getting third party, they can rotate into Salvage, and then they can also take a jump tower to get onto the very top, which you really don't want to fight. If you're on low ground and there's a team on top, there's a high chance that you will die there. Another place would probably be Repulsor. Repulsor, not really that good, especially with that map room area. Spotted Lake could be a good area. There's a bit on the outskirts of Spotted Lake, but in reality, usually a lot of teams go there. If not, you can third party Spotted Lake by going pit or runoff. And then you can also maybe go Swamps. Swamps is probably an area, it has pretty high tier loot, Swamps. There's a lot of loot. You can come out of Swamps with a lot of loot. But this is, I would say, for the people who aren't like the more skilled players that are going for placement, that are going for not many kills, maybe 2 kills and a win. You can land Swamps, you get a beacon most likely, and you can easily play out for the end of the game at Swamps. You do get incredible loot there. Another place that I don't really like to go would be Caustic Treatment. I think Caustic Treatment for me is a little bit too loud, and when you rely on Apex and audio is kind of a bit tricky in this game, and relying on Apex for audio is not good. There's also a place outside Caustic Treatment, no name, that people like to land and third party into Caustic Treatment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I was just going over some of the places and some of the good spots for some characters to land. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and if you do, please like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and I will see you in the next one.